What's up, you guys? Sorry for it looking like this. It's because, I don't know, like, it's because the sun's not shining in here good enough or something. I don't know. But, I don't know. I'm supposed to be reading Jubilee, but, you know, I flipped to the 10 commandments, and I know the majority of the reason that us as Black people have to suffer is because we have went astray from God and started worshiping other gods. He really, really hates that. He hates for you to put anyone before him. And that's why that's the commandment number 1. So I'm about to read the 10 commandments, and then we're gonna go to Deuteronomy 28. And it's so funny. That's what I'm saying. God will use anybody to help you convey a message. Because my guy, Dwayne, he was talking about this last night. He be talking about Deuteronomy 28. And he warned us in Deuteronomy 28. He told us what will happen to us if we don't keep his commandments. His commandments are these 10 commandments that we're about to go over. And the first 4 is about idolizing other gods, just to see how. And this is how, like I say, I know we're the descendants of these people because we have the same behaviors. It irritates my soul when I hear people say this Beyonce internet. Y'all don't even understand how bad that triggers me. I be wanting to go smack the hell out y'all because this girl got y'all in a chokehold. Y'all be, and I see it, like, I just see in our community, I'm like, our people are just like, I'm gonna see if I can find that video. Wallow have posted this video where it's like all the people following behind one person that's leading them all into a ditch. And that's how the Black community is. We have no identity. We want to be like everybody else. We want to be like every other nation. We want to fit in with people that we are supposed to be sitting high and above. We're gonna read we're gonna read about this in Deuteronomy 28. So, you know, and this is how when I started reading, I'm like, this is us. And then when he told Abraham, that was part of the covenant for us to go into slavery because God knew. He know us. He knew what we were going to do once he freed us from slavery from the Pharaohs, from the Egyptians the first time. He knew. Because this has happened in history. Even before the Israelites, our forefathers went astray. Terror in them. As I'm reading Jubilees, and this is what I'm saying, this Genesis, I haven't read all of the book, all of the Bible, so it may touch on it in other parts of the Bible that I just haven't gotten to. But when I read Jubilee and Jasher, which are books that was taken out of here, I see how they even went away to other gods. And God knew before then. He knew before then. He said that once Noah dies, because Noah, this is why, okay, let me just say this. Once Noah died, he said once, Noah even feared, he said, I fear that once I die, my sons are going to go astray. My sons are going to start to do wicked things on the earth to go against our God. And that's exactly what they did. That's exactly what they did. And Nimrod, Ham's bloodline, that's why I got to get to I got to figure out, I need to figure out Ham, because Ham bloodline, Ham and all his sons, those are our number 1 arch enemies. Number 1, they are they are where wickedness started and still prevails from. They are the wicked. They're the wicked brother. We come from the bloodline of Shem. And I'm going to keep breaking this down because, I mean, when I tell you this stuff give you, like, it takes true connecting the dots. But it really gives so much detail in this book to know, you know, which land he gave us and everything is so detailed. So I'm going to get to that. But he told us not to start worshiping these other gods, not to make molten images, engraven images, and start to worship them, these statues and these pieces. That's why you got to be careful about these statues you bringing into your house. Like, And that's funny because I don't like stuff like that. I don't need nobody's head in my house. I don't care what she's supposed to represent. I don't need none of that stuff representing in my house like that. I don't even play them type of games. But to see, and this even Abraham, like I'm gonna talk to you about that in another video because I'll get to talk about everything, and I'm supposed to be talking about this. We're gonna talk about that in another video, but let's read the commandments. So, commandment number 1. Okay, before he even started with the commandments, he emphasized consistently throughout the Bible that I am the Lord your God, which have brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. You shall have no other gods before me. Commandment number 1, you shall have no other gods before me. Commandment number 1, you should not have no other gods before me, period. 2, you shall not make unto you any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. You should not make any graven images or any likeness of anything. That means not making no pieces as an idol. You don't make these statues. Y'all, if y'all pay attention in the world how they have the statues and all of that, and it's supposed to what it's supposed to represent, you are not to have any of these idols. You're not supposed to idolize any of these carvings of these people or things, because a lot of them are carvings of supposedly special people, yada yada yada. You're not to worship those people. You're not to worship those things. You should not bow down yourself to them, nor serve them. For I, Lord your God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children into the 3rd and 4th generation of them that hate me. For I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children into the 3rd and 4th generation of them that hate me. The Lord God is a jealous God. You cannot put anybody before him. He's jealous of that. He's like, for all the things that I have done, how dare you put other people before me when these people have they don't hold no weight above me. They don't hold no power above me. These people hold power, but not above God. If we see how in the Bible, yes, them Egyptians, Pharaoh and them, as God told as God told Moses what to do to enact the plagues that he was doing, and then the Egyptians, they'll try to do their little thing to show, okay, I got power too, I can do this too. But they couldn't do all the plagues that Moses could do through God, because God poured his spirit on him to do those things. He couldn't enact all those plagues. Pharaoh and them did not have the power to mar the land with what was it, frogs to eat up the crops. He didn't have the power to kill all the firstborn sons. He didn't have the power to do that. Only God did. So yes, the enemy will have some power. We see it every day. They have power. Look at Beyonce. She worships of a different God, but she has power. She has power over our people. But she don't have more power than God. Okay. Wow, and then this part where it says, I'm the Lord your God, jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children into the 3rd and 4th generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy to thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Yeah, because he making them pay. He making them pay. But he's not going to make the generation, because what you do affects your bloodline. This is why it's important to break the generational curse. Why do you think a lot of us is suffering from the things we're suffering from? It's because of things not that we did. It's things that our grandmothers and our great-grandmothers, our mothers, our fathers, our great-grandfathers, it's stuff that they did. Now that they done took oaths with the enemy, and they done signed these contracts with the enemy and put the curse on the bloodline. And God will show mercy to those that love him and keep his commandments. So even though, yes, you're supposed to be cursed, and you're cursed through the actions of your forefathers who hated me. And that's why I want to talk to you about Terah and Abraham, because Terah he was wicked because he wanted to, you was on the other side. Like, you wanted to go follow Nimrod or prince with Nimrod and stuff, and he was wicked. And his son was Nimrod's son was even more wicked. And wicked produced wickedness. Ooh, wait till I get to it. Wait till I start do that video. For that's a proverb. Because look at us. We're products of our parents. So if your parent is wicked, and they teach you those wicked ways, and you take on those wicked ways, that's why a lot of times when you look at a child, and then you see the mama, or you see the dad, you be like, I see exactly why this kid is the way it is. Look at the mama. Look at her. Look at the father. Look at him. Our kids are products of us. And this is why it's important to do what you're supposed to do and clean up your act. Clean it up because your kid's watching you. You're the role model. You're their role model. Commandment number 3. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord your God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Because once you know better, you're supposed to do better. And if you know God's way and you still choose to do other ways, you're going to be held accountable. He is going to punish you. He's going to punish you. Then he may let up off you, give you some mercy, see if you're learning yet. And if you don't, you will. This is why we constantly keep repeating the same cycles. We keep taking the same L's because we don't learn our lesson. And we'll pray to God and be like, God, please, I promise you, if you just relieve me from this situation, I promise I won't do it no more. I promise, I promise, I promise. And he'd be like, all right, I'm going to give you some mercy. And then here you go again. You took the Lord your God in vain. You said you wasn't going to do that. And then here you go, you did it again. So you playing with my mercy. You playing with me, the fact that I give you multiple chances. That's why I always tell people, God gives multiple chances, not me. And that's why I'm so glad that I'm not God. Because I don't have to give all those chances and give you mercy and all of that. That's God. That's his thing. But even like he says, I will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Because it's like, don't play with me. Don't take my kindness for weakness. God is very benevolent, but he also will let you feel his wrath if you take his kindness for weakness. Number 4, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. And I have another video. So I don't know which one will get posted first, but I have a video. This is what Jubilee is about. This is why they took this stuff out of the book. Because the importance of keeping the Sabbath day holy, they got us thinking that the Sunday is the Sabbath, when really Saturday is the Sabbath. So they didn't mix up so much stuff. And we're not keeping the Sabbath holy. It really goes so deep. It goes so deep. And we're going to get more into it when I do that video. And I didn't even go all the way in detail with that because I still have to finish Jubilee. But I encourage you guys to read the book of Jubilee, period. But we're going to talk about this. We're going to go in depth to a lot of different things. Because the more I learn and the more God keep leading me, I'm going to get up here and preach the gospel that he wants me to preach about this and teach. I'm the teacher. Welcome to class. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord your God. In it you shall not do any work, nor your son, nor your daughter, nor the manservant, nor the maidservant, nor your cattle, nor your stranger that is within your gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea and all that them is, and rested the 7th day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the 7th day and hallowed it. So that's commandment number 4. The importance of keeping the Sabbath holy and sanctified and resting and chilling and allowing, because it all has to do with nature. God is the creator of this, and this is why Mother Nature is in a frenzy. She doing stuff because they have messed with keeping God's law. This is what Jubilee is about. We're going to talk about that. But y'all wonder why we're talking about global warming and climate change. Why is this happening here and why is that? It's because they have not kept God's commandments. We have not kept the commandments. And they have purposely, the enemy has purposely put stuff out of whack, switched up everything, went against God in every way possible. Wait till I drop the other video, because I was talking about this in the other video where I was reading to y'all some of the stuff from Jubilee where God talked about, he knew, because he already knew that they was going to do this stuff. Okay? God knows everything before it happens because he created everything. Like, there's nothing that he don't know about. But let's keep going. Commandment 5, honor your mother and father, that your days may be long upon the land which the Lord your God giveth you. Number 13, and with that one, and we're supposed to honor our mother and our father. We're supposed to respect them. We're supposed to do that. Some of us have issues with our parents, but you still can gracefully not deal with them. You don't have to. It doesn't mean you have to take their BS. And even with that scripture, they have turned that into something wicked. The parents have turned that into something wicked because they use the word of God in vain to commit wickedness, to commit iniquity on the children, on God's children, on his people, on the bloodline. And they'll go to this verse and use this verse just to act like their wicked acts that they do to their children is justified because of this. So they commit wickedness in itself. They commit the wickedness in themselves through taking the Lord God's word in vain and transcribing it to mean something else, and to think that they can commit these wicked acts on their children. And just because it says honor their mother, their father, they think that they can do these wicked things to their kids, and their kids still have to show up and be around them and tolerate that BS from them. And that is not at all what it says by this, because we can go to Ephesians to not provoke your children to wrath. And this is why if you're in this situation, you use your discernment and you listen to God when it's about dealing with these toxic parents that you had. If they are leading you astray, just like, I don't remember which video I did where I posted that. It was something about toxic parents. So if y'all go on my page, you know, my videos, whatever one was about toxic parents, because even Jesus said, I mean, they don't follow God. So if you don't follow God and his commandments and his ways, and you're going to do wickedness like my forefathers have done, I'm not going to follow you just because you're my parent. I'm not going to listen to you and you committing wicked acts, and you think I'm going to follow that just because the Bible says honor thy mother, thy father. Even Jesus said, they don't listen to God. They're not my father. I don't remember what I was in, if I was in Luke or if I was in Matthew when I was reading it, but I got a video up here. Look, I flipped right to Matthew. But I'm going to see, because it was something on here about the parents, because he was like, because they're not my mother and brother, for they do wickedness. These are my mother and brother, the ones that I'm in a spiritual connection with, the ones that we are on the same page. This is what I'm saying. Sometimes your real family, they're your blood family. They got you. They was the vessel used to get you here. You had to grow up with these siblings and stuff. But they're a complete abomination to the Lord. They do things that God is not happy with. And this is why oftentimes you're casted out. And God will bring you a real family that you connect with on a spiritual level, where y'all have a like mind, a like spirit. And y'all don't believe in doing some of the wicked stuff that your parents, your forefathers, and them are telling you to do. Let's finish. Number 6, thou shalt not kill. Number 7, thou shalt not commit adultery. Number 8, thou shalt not steal. Number 9, thou shalt not bear false witness against your neighbor. So do not kill, do not lie, do not steal, do not commit adultery. People don't know how to do that because people don't know how to be faithful. Commandment number 10, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is your neighbor's. Stop wanting what your neighbor has. Stop wanting what your brother has. Stop envying what your friends, the people in your surroundings. Stop being jealous and envious of what they have, to the point where you want to kill them dead to take their stuff. For the point where you want to lose your own self to do what they doing. For you want to keep up with the Joneses and you going broke because you're trying to keep up with the Joneses. You don't even know what the Joneses is really doing to get what they're doing. So now you want to join in with the Joneses and you want to start doing the wicked acts that they're doing. You want to start robbing and stealing from people so that you can get these monetary things so that you can live the life like the Joneses, like your neighbors. You don't know what it takes your neighbors to have that. So that's why it's not good to covet your neighbor's things, to not want what they had, to not want what you see this man have. You see your neighbor wife, you want his wife. You see the girl that your homeboy get, you think you need to have a girl like that because she look this good and she a trophy, and she show up in society. When you go out in society, she make you look good, all this, and you don't know what it takes for that man to have that girl. And vice versa with the ladies with the men. Stop wanting what other people have when you don't know what it takes them to get what they have, nor maintain what they have. This is what all of this is talking about. So, now that we went over the commandments, the importance of, for one, not worshiping other gods, not stealing, not wanting other people's likeness, period. That's it in a nutshell. Stop being a follower, be a leader, because he called us here to be the leaders, for we are where everything else stemmed from us. Yeah, we are the ones that's down here at the bottom wanting to be like these other nations. Why? We the blueprint. We the blueprint. They want the strength that we naturally embody, that we don't even realize that we naturally embody. That in itself is power over everything else. Look in the book of Judges with Samson. It was his strength that they envied. Look at my playlist and the videos when I was talking about what they were saying about the Hebrew women, how the Egyptian women was envious because the strength and the wit of the Hebrew women. Look at what they envy us for as Black people, for our strength, for our resilience. That we have been at the bottom and we make a way out of no way. They fed us BS food, and now we look how we embrace the BS that they was meaning for our bad, meaning for our harm, in which it does still be harming us. Eating all these ham hogs and stuff that we ain't supposed to eat, that's unclean, that God told us not to eat. They purposely fed us the things that was unclean and unholy, that God told us, our God told us not to eat in Leviticus. Or Exodus, I think it's Leviticus. But we're gonna be going over this stuff. He told us not to eat these things. So they purposely gave us this stuff. And God allowed them to do some stuff. But like it said in this book, they took it way too far. God told them to, humble us basically. He told them to be evil to us. But he did not tell them to go as far as they have went with it. They went super far with it. They went so nasty and low down with it. And that is absurd, and it's trifling. It's very trifling what they've done. And we need to unlearn a lot of the BS that was fed to us, that we have been taught by these people. We need to get back to knowing who we are and stop following other nations. Stop wanting to be like them folks so bad, when in all actuality, they want to be like us. That's why I say, when you got to have confidence when you out here walking. You got to know who you are. When you walking, you make them get out your freaking way. It ain't to be rude, but sometimes them folk think you going to just get out their way. Nah, make them get out your way. That the park, y'all know I go walking up at the lake. And these two ladies, and they speak to me, it's like, mostly white people up there, that lake I go walking at. That's a white area, but mostly white people up there. And, the two ladies, and I'm walking on this side, and they was coming down too. I'm staying right here. When I'm walking, when I tell you, and both of them, both of them do speak to me. When I tell you I'm walking, and I'm, like I told y'all, when you around certain folk, period, you need to be walking with your head up and stuff. But especially when you around all these other nations, you put your head up. You don't sit there and bow down to nobody. You need to know who you are, because they know who we are. We don't know who we are. They know who we are. We don't know who we are. And I'm walking. When I tell you that lady, I will stand up and do it for you, but I don't got no pants on. She stepped to the side, like she said. She stepped to the side, and the other lady went on over to the side with her. Yeah, out of my way. It's a queen coming through. And what's that? When I tell y'all, like, she jumped over like that. She feel the queen presence. I'm an empress, baby. It's been stamped before I even knew who I was. When I was young getting these tattoos, Gorgeous Empress is what they say. Ben stamp, queen. We are the kings and the queens. Everything starts from us. We produce all races. We produce all color. We produce kids with all colors of hair, all colors of eyes. We produce that. We do. So let's go to Deuteronomy. Let's go to Deuteronomy 28. So, listen up. So what's this? Okay. That's why I say them goddamn Levites, these church leaders, and this is why a lot of them are paying. They're paying greatly for leading us astray. You're supposed to be going to the church for leadership, for guidance, for knowing God's word and moving on God's ways. Not just to go, just for fellowship, to be praising and doing happy dances and all of that. You're supposed to be going for education. Church is supposed to be school. That's what the true, because this is the true education that matters. Because if you know this, everything else comes easily. This is the most important book. This is the most important book of your life. This is the true history book. This book tells you about science. This book tells you about everything. All the 4 subjects, numbers, everything in this book. This is the ultimate book here. And it says, and it shall come to pass, if you shall hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord your God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations on the earth. And all these blessings shall come unto you and overtake you, if you shall hear to the voice of the Lord your God. Blessed shall you be in the city, and blessed shall you be in the field. Blessed shall be the fruit of your body, and the fruit of your ground, and the fruit of your cattle. Blessed shall be your basket and your store. I'm skipping over a couple of it. The Lord shall cause your enemies that rise up against you to be smitten before your face. They shall come out against thee one way and flee before the 7 ways. The Lord shall command a blessing upon you in the storehouses and in all that you set your hand to. And he shall bless your land in which the Lord your God gives you. The Lord shall establish himself thee and holy people to himself. The Lord shall establish you as a holy people unto himself, and he has sworn to you, if you should keep the commandments. Listen again. The Lord shall establish you a holy people to himself, as he has sworn to you, if you keep the commandments. And God, from the beginning of time, he stamped this with Noah. And God is not a man that he shall lie. He said, if I said I got you and I got your sons for life, he told Noah this. I got you and your sons for life. I got y'all. And Noah was afraid. He said, I'm worried that my sons is going to go and start to worship other gods once I die. Because we need to understand the importance of a strong matriarch and a strong patriarch. Because as a strong, if you're a parent, you are the matriarch. Look at how the Kardashians, Kris Jenner, she's a matriarch for sure of her family. She keep that unit in check. She keep them, and we know they on the other side. They definitely on the other side. But she keeps them grounded. No matter what goes on, it's them first. She keeps them grounded. So when she dies, they know what she has instilled in them about getting their money, about how to silence the people from speaking out against them, revealing their information, their wicked ways. Even though technically it's for bad, but because they of the kingdom of darkness, they use it for because she's a strong matriarch. She keeps her kids in line. And even when she dies, she will have their effect, what she has instilled in them will remain. But as the matriarch, this is why it's important to instill principles, morals, and values into your children. And you enforce it. And you enforce them and teach them the importance of being a leader, not a follower. Teach your children to be leaders, not followers, because of course you're going to teach them certain things. And then they'll get out here in the streets amongst their friends and be willing and diving into peer pressure. But if you instill that stuff in your children, they'll know I'm not doing that. Like, I'm more fearful of my mama than you kids bullying me and talking this crap y'all talking about me. I'm more fearful of my daddy than I'm fearful of what y'all little young niggas gonna do. Because my daddy will smite you, me, and all of us, and your daddy and my dad. He will smite all of us. So you gotta instill in them the importance of keeping certain legacies, keeping certain values, being a leader. I don't care what your friends said. If it don't sit right in your spirit, and this is why we got to teach our children about God early on, the real. We got to pray over our children. We got to pray for discernment over our children daily. That is something that you need to incorporate in your prayer daily for your children, to have discernment when they are out here amongst these wolves in sheep's clothing. Because there's a lot of wicked produces wickedness. What I was just telling y'all, Nimrod, which is I think he's Cush. Nimrod is Cush's last son. He's the son that Cush had in old age. Let me get my little notebook, because I ain't even supposed to be talking about this. This video might get long, but period. It's a history lesson, and I need to get to reading. But Nimrod was Cush's last child. That was his baby. And Nimrod was a mighty hunter. He was great. This is why he came into leadership, because everybody started to worship him, because he was that nigga for real. How everybody be like, I'm that nigga, I'm that girl. He was that because of the things, his power. He had control. He had dominion. He had dominion over the animals. He had it. Like God instilled for man to have dominion over the animals, to have dominion over the whole earth. But when people get into certain positions and you're supposed to use it for good and you end up using it for evil, that's when it goes wrong. Because you're supposed to use your power for good. You're supposed to use your influence for good, not for evil. But that was all a part of it. That was all a part of it. But just like Nimrod, his son, Mardon, I don't know if that's the way you pronounce it, but his son Mardon, all of our ops come from the bloodline of Ham. And then we got our smoke with Esau kids, the Edomites. I just really can't wait to get down to the bottom. I just want to know who is who, because, you know, even like they say, all black folk ain't kinfolk, because some of them is on the other side. I don't know, some of y'all might be Ham kids. But, I forgot what I was getting to. Oh, because wickedness produces wicked. So Nimrod was wicked. And then it says in here that Madron, whatever his name is, let's go to it. It said Madron or Mardon, that was his name. Mardon was even more evil than him. Let me see if I can go to it right quick. It was that in Jasher, because I was reading Jasher too. Because all of this stuff would be like, yeah. Because it said Nimrod reigned in the earth over all the sons of Noah, and they were all under his power and counsel, and all the earth was of one tongue and words of union. But Nimrod did not go in the ways of the Lord, and he was more wicked than all the men that were before him, from the days of the flood until those days. He made gods of wood and stone, and he bowed down to them, and he rebelled against the Lord and taught all his subjects and the people of the earth his wicked ways. And his son Mardon was more wicked than his father. And everyone that heard the acts of Mardon, the son of Nimrod, would say concerning him, from the wicked goes out wickedness. Therefore it became a proverb in the whole earth, saying, from the wicked goes out wickedness. And it was current in the words of men from that time to this. And Terah, the son of Nahor, prince of Nimrod's host, was in those days very great in the sight of the king and his subjects. And the king and princes loved him, and they elevated him high. Because Terah, you on the other side, you know better too, but you went, because you was one of Nimrod's favorites because you was with the shits that what he was doing. But Terah knew his son. But we're gonna talk about that in another video. That's what I'm saying. This stuff gets so good. It gets so good, and that's why I got finished reading, because Terah knew he was wicked, and Abraham was like, Abraham basically was like that black sheep. That's why I'm like Abraham. Everything, even how he refers to God, it's like the same way. Like, oh my gosh, like, oh my gosh, I just be like, even the way he referred to God. Like, it's the same thing I say. Like, he told that to his father. He was like, you're going to go against, why are you worshiping those idols when we have the Lord our God, the one who created everything, the one who created the entire universe? But we're going to talk about that in another video. We're going to talk about this in another video because this gets really good, and I can't wait to bring y'all that tea. But in the meantime, if y'all want, y'all can go order the Book of Jubilees and start reading it yourself, and order Jasher, because Jasher and Jubilee and Genesis, it's all like the same, but Jasher and Jubilee have more information, and some of the information that Jasher has, Jubilee don't have because it skips over. And this is all a part of their plans to confuse you. But if you have all the books and you read them all, you get the missing pieces that this book was missing, that the other, like, it's like the chapters, they just skipped over stuff. And even in this Bible, you can see how when you, like, most of this Bible is like repetitive information. But when you read one chapter, because even when it comes down to the bloodline side, I'm like, in this chapter, they'll leave out who one of the kids was of certain, you know, like Ham or like Shem. They'll leave out who one of the kids was, or the name, and they'll switch up the names and all that. It's all meant for it to be confusing. It's all because, for one, people have, when they wrote this stuff on the tablets, wrote it on the scrolls, and over time, when people have gotten it and transcribed it and transferred the information, they switch up certain things. And some of it's intentional. Just like the game of telephone, you tell the one person a message, by the time you get to the last person, it's all switched up. Now, the story might still have some of the meat in it, but some of it just got the message wrong. And this is how it is in here, but it's purposely meant to lead the people astray, because we know they stole our ark at the fight with the Philistines. That's why I'm trying to connect it to. Let me not get too in deep, because I'm supposed to be reading this, and that's always my problem. Because all of it just get the flowing to me, and I'm like, I just be in awe of what has happened, and I just can't believe this. So it says, okay. So it said, the Lord shall establish you a holy people to himself, and he's sworn to you that if you keep the commandments of the Lord your God and walk in his ways, and all the people of the earth shall see that you are called by the name of the Lord, and they shall be afraid of you. They all are afraid of us, are they not? They all, when they go shoot us and all of this stuff, when they go off us and all of this stuff, what do they say? Oh, I was afraid. Because they really are, because they know. All the people, let's read this again. The Lord shall establish you a holy people to himself, as he has sworn to you, if you shall keep the commandments of the Lord your God and walk in his ways. And all people of the earth shall see that you are called by the name of the Lord, and they shall be afraid of you. They shall be afraid of you. And the Lord shall make you plenteous in goods, and in the fruit of your body, and the fruit of your cattle, and the fruit of the ground, the land which the Lord swears to your fathers to give you. The Lord shall open up his good treasure, the heaven, to give the rain to you, your land in his season, and bless all the work of your hand. And you shall lend to many nations, and you shall not borrow. This is where that be the lender and not the borrower, the head and not the tail come from. And the Lord shall make you the head and not the tail. And you shall be above only, and you shall not be beneath. if that is, that you listen to the commandments of the Lord your God, which I command you to this day to observe and to do to them. And you shall not go aside from any of the words which I command you this day, to the right hand or to the left, to go after other gods to serve them. He emphasizes this all throughout the Bible. He's most mad at us. His anger has been kindled against us. It'd be so funny just to use some of their language that they be saying here. But his anger was kindled against you. He was so angry with us because that's one thing he emphasized, is not to worship other gods. And that's what we have done. That's what we do. So it says, but it shall come to pass, if you will not listen to the voice of the Lord your God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command you this day, that all these curses shall come upon you and overtake you. So let's go on to the curses. Like he ain't playing. He's not a man that he should lie. If he said he's gonna do something, that means he's gonna do it, no matter if it's good or bad. That's why I always say I'm definitely God's daughter. Because good or bad, if I say I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. If I say I'm going to bang you, I'm going to bang you. If I say I love you, I love you. If I say I got you, I got you. If I say I got your back, I got your back. But if I say I'm done with you, I ain't messing with you no more. If I say if you come to my house, I'm going to do this to you, I'm going to do that. And I ain't going to feel nothing about it. Because I told you. And I'm not a woman that I should lie. My word is bond. I don't play about my word. That's why I'm not going to say something and not mean it. I don't do that. Because I ain't taking back what I said. I said what I said. And God is the same way. He said, if you don't listen to these commandments, I'm going to curse you. I'm going to curse you and I'm going to feed you to your enemies. And that's what he did. Because he's not a man that he should lie. You're going to learn today. Just like my ex. I told you what I was going to do if you ain't step up. I told you exactly what I was going to do. But you took my kindness and weakness. You thought I was just chatting. Because you used to your mama and all them other girls just talking. I'm about that action, baby. Don't ever play with me. If I say I'm going to leave you, that's what I'm going to do. If you don't do what you're supposed to do, you're getting left. If you don't step up, I'm not staying in this state. I don't have to stay in this city. This ain't my city. I don't got to stay there if I don't want to. And if you ain't even helping in the way I need help, I'm dipping. And that's what I did. Now they mad. Now they mad. But I told you. I gave you a warning. Warning comes before destruction. You didn't take heed, and that's your fault. Just like this is our fault. We didn't take heed, and now we're the borrowers, not the lenders. Now we're the tail and not the head. When it was supposed to be the other way around. It was supposed to be the other way around. We supposed to be the ones in these positions. We supposed to be the entrepreneurs. We supposed to be the ones giving out the jobs. We supposed to be the ones owning all the acres. We the ones supposed to be owning all the cattle, having dominion over all the earth. But because we took the Lord our God in vain and worship other gods, which he constantly is saying to us, this is why we are at the bottom. This is why we in the trenches. This is why we got it so hard. So it says, I'm going to read that right that back part here. But it shall come to pass, if you will not hearken to the voice of the Lord your God to observe and do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command you. A command is serious. A declaration is serious. An affirmation is serious. An oath is serious. And it's so funny because this is what I'm saying. God, this whole time, he was leading me to understand. And when I was a notary, because I was a notary in Maryland, and you have to understand the difference between oaths, affirmations, and all of that, declarations, and all of that when doing notary work. You know, when you go to, administer your notaries, or if you're a loan signing agent, like, you got to know which ones to use when having the people sign and all that. But anyways, it says, I command you this day that all these curses shall come upon you and overtake you. Cursed shall you be in your city, and cursed you shall be in the field. Cursed shall your basket and your store. Cursed shall be your fruit of your body and the fruit of your land, the increase of your kind and the flocks of your sheep. Cursed shall you be when you come in, and cursed shall you be when you go out. The Lord shall send upon you cursing, vexation, rebuke, and all that you set your hand for you to do, until you be destroyed, and until you perish quickly because of the wickedness of your doings, whereby you have forsaken me. We be thinking of God and left us and forsaken us, but no, we have forsaken him by idolizing other gods that he's told us time and time again. Numerous amounts of time he told us not to do that, and we did it. I'm getting the chills through my body, bruh, like, because he said, well, he told us. This is why he come down hard on us. We will perish. He's allowing us to perish. But like he said in the commandments, and showing mercy to those who showing mercy to thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. He's going to show mercy to the ones that do. Even if you fall short, but if he see you trying, because he know your heart. He know your heart. And like I said, once you know better, he holds you accountable. It's different between a person never knowing these things. But once you know the right thing to do and you still choose to do wrong, he holds you accountable. He's going to rebuke you. It says, the Lord shall make the pestilence cleave to you until he have consumed you from off the land where you go to possess it. And look at all the strife that them people have done to us to push us out of lands and territories that was originally ours. Our Black Wall Street, our Black cities, even what they was talking about Lake Lanier, that once used to be our land. They said that used to be a thriving Black area. But they done pushed us out, chased us out. Look at what they have done with them folk. This means K in sign language. And 3 of those, y'all know who those are. Triple K. Them running us out of our towns, burning our houses, burning our churches intentionally. They brought plagues onto us to run us out of our lands. But this was all by the design. Because if you don't appreciate what you have, if you don't worship me as your father, as the one who blessed you with this land, if you don't appreciate it, okay, I'm gonna let somebody have it who will appreciate it. And that's what he did. That's why he gave him our stuff. And we want our stuff back. Give us back our stuff. That's why I'm with this shit. Y'all don't even know, like, that's why I be wanting to, it's like so much that I really be wanting to tell y'all, but I can't even say it. I can't even say it. But God already know. Like I told him, man, it's just give me the word. I'll go do it. I'll go run up in these folks' house. I'll go squat up in their house and take it over. What you mean? What? Take it over. It's ours anyway. But it said, the Lord shall smite you with a consumption and with a fever and with inflammation and with extreme burning and with the sword, with blasting and with mildew, and they shall pursue you to perish. And a lot of us do suffer with all of that. Dying from inflammation. Dying from burning inside. Dying from a lot of stuff. Dying from having to slave away still in this modern day slavery that we in. Dying. Killing you every day. What I've been talking to y'all about in them videos. What was that one video I just did? I was in the car with that blue shirt on. Oh, you're not stuck. That video. You're not stuck. That video right there. That's what I was talking about this. Still slaving away. Because you're scared of this, scared of that. And we're perishing. This is why people are getting sick. This is why people got to go smoke and drink up their life away, because it's to cope with these voids that you're going through. Stuff that you're dealing with at these jobs. We have become the borrowers, not the lenders. We have become the tail, not the head, as we were supposed to be. And your heaven that is over your head shall be brass, and the earth that is under you shall be iron. Yeah, it's going to be dark. You're going to have days of darkness. What's supposed to be light and gleaming, was supposed to be light and beautiful from above, it's going to be dark. And that's what I used to say when I lived in Baltimore, you know, I be in the city or whatever. I'm like, it's so dark in these cities. Like, you can just, it's like it's dark. The sun don't shine the same in the city the way it shines in the country, in the suburbs. It don't shine the same. I would see it. I lived in the county. I lived on like the borderline. But going into the city, like when I would go down there on Mosher, I'm like, it's just dark down here. Even the ground is just dark. Their cement is just dirty. It's just dark. The whole atmosphere, you can just feel a dark cloud. The sun don't shine the same in the trenches. It don't shine the same. And this is what it said, and your heaven that is over your head shall be brass. Brass is dark. And the earth that is under you shall be iron, hard as iron. Yeah, you're going to work and toil, and it's going to be hard. Life is going to be hard for us. And life has been hard for us. Life is still hard for us as Black people. Like iron, sharp as iron, cutting you, aching you, killing you just to step foot outside, just to go to work, be killing ourselves. The Lord shall make the rain of your land powder and dust, and from heaven shall it come down upon you destroyed. The Lord shall cause you to be smitten before your enemies, and that you should go out one way against them and flee 7 ways before them, and shall be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth. In which we have. We then been moved into all the kingdoms of the earth. Oh, it says should be removed. Yeah, it should be removed into all kingdoms of the earth. And your carcass shall be meat to all the fowls of the air, and to the beasts of the earth, and no man shall fray them away. The Lord will smite you with the botch of Egypt, and with the emerods, and with the scab, and with the itch whereof you cannot be healed. I wonder if that's the, yeah. I wonder if that's like the skin diseases. What are emerods? I think emerods are supposed to be like warts, boils or something. What are emerods? Yeah, an archaic term for hemorrhoids. And Lord knows I got one of them. That might be TMI. Them damn kids, y'all. Don't have no kids. They don't tell you about that part. I done told y'all some of these videos. Don't have no kids, y'all. Them damn kids be fucking hemorrhoids. Don't have no damn kids. And it's so funny because my baby definitely got a scab in the itch that cannot be healed, but it's going to be healed. Because God is definitely leading me the way with that. And once again, even how I just talk about inflammation, and a lot of us as these people, because of the stuff that we put in our bodies, this is why we have these things. We have these illnesses. But my baby was born with this stuff. Our bloodline been cursed with this horrible skin. And I rebuke it. That's what I gotta do right. I'm like, I'll be praying to God, God, please heal my baby's skin. Please heal my baby's skin. I hate seeing my baby just itching. Ain't nothing, and have nothing work. But he's leading me on something, you know, because he's giving me mercy. Like he said, if you keep my commandments, I give you mercy. So he giving me and my blood. I'm changing the narrative. This is why it's important for me to break the curse, because my kid's not about to suffer. I don't want them to suffer. They don't deserve to suffer because of what I did with my mama and her mama and her mama and my daddy and his daddy and his daddy. And they don't deserve to suffer because of them folks. But it's by design for them to suffer because of the iniquity of our forefathers. But I'm going to heal my baby because I hate seeing my baby itching. Like, I got eczema. I got bad skin too, but mine ain't as bad as hers. And I really hate that for my little baby because she don't deserve that. So it says, the Lord shall smite you with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart, and you shall grope at noonday as the blind gropeth in darkness, and you shall not prosper in your ways, and you shall be only oppressed and spoil you evermore, and no man shall save you. God is not a man that he's going to play with you. He told us, he warned, and warning comes before destruction. He told us what would happen, but everybody was like, all right, yeah, whatever. All right, yeah, whatever. Until, because mind you, Deuteronomy and everything is before we went into slavery. This is before we went into slavery. Or was it? No, I don't think Deuteronomy was before we went into slavery. But I think we've been in slavery multiple times, because back then they was in slavery. I don't know. I gotta do some more research. But we still are in slavery, in modern day slavery. They just cleaned it up a little bit. We still in slavery. Wake up, guys. We're still in slavery. We still work the same slave hours that the slaves used to have to work back then. You should betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. You shall build a house, and you shall not dwell there. You shall plant a vineyard, and shall not gather the grapes thereof. The ox shall be slain before your eyes, and you shall not eat thereof. Your ass shall be violently taken away from you before your face, and shall not be restored to you. Your sheep shall be given to your enemies, and you will not have none to rescue them. Your sons and your daughters shall be given to another people, and your eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long. There shall be no might in your hand. And that's what they have done. They've taken our children right in front of your eyes, taking our children. Just taking them. Doing whatever they want with them. Taking our men, taking your wives. Look at our history. How is this not us? This is what I'm saying. If you read this stuff, you see that this is us, because this is what has happened to us. This is what has happened to us. And they did this stuff right in front of in front of the men. Took your wife in front of the wife. Emasculated your man by pumping him in his butt and stuff. They've emasculated, they've done this stuff. But God ain't telling them to go that dang on far now, because I don't see nowhere in here where it say, we might need to keep reading. But I don't see nowhere in here does it say he told them to emasculate the men like he did. He said to take the kid, he said he was going to do that stuff. But he ain't tell y'all go that far with start penetrating the men. Don't let me get to talking about that. That's why this is Sodom and Gomorrah all over again, because of the wickedness that they be into. They like all that booty play. Now they done put that booty play into our community, and now it's just a mess. But well, it says so that it says the Lord shall smite you in the knees and in the legs with a sore botch that cannot be healed from the sole of your foot into the top of your head. The Lord shall bring you and your king, which you shall set over you, into a nation where neither you nor your fathers have known, and there you shall serve other gods, wood and stone. Yeah, take you into slavery, and now you're going to serve, you're going to slave away for these other kings. And you shall become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations where the Lord shall lead you. And you shall carry much seed out in your field, and shall gather but little in it, for the locust shall consume it. Yeah, you do all of that work, but you don't get to reap no harvest, and none of the work that you put in. All the harvest that we have built and paved the way for, we ain't get to reap none of that, because we don't have no generational wealth. We don't have no land. We don't have none of the true assets. We don't own no cattle. Where the money really is in owning the animals that feed the whole world. We don't get to have none of it. I can go on and on and on, because I mean, see, maybe I gotta keep going, because y'all, we need to know this. It says you should have olive trees throughout all your coasts, but you should not anoint yourself with the oil, for your oil shall cast its fruit. You shall have sons and daughters, but shall not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity. All your trees and fruits of your land shall the locust consume. The stranger that is within you shall get up above you very high, and you will come down very low. He shall lend to you, and you shall not lend to him. He shall be the head and you shall be the tail. This is all the curses. This is Deuteronomy 28. Curses of the Lord. All of these are all the curses. He talked about over here with the blessing, see here, reciting for curses for obedience. And when he said recite, he told Moses to tell them. He said, when Moses charged the people saying the same day, saying, these shall stand upon the Mount Jerusalem to bless the people, where you come over, blah, blah, blah. Where you come over Jordan, Simon and Levi, and Judah and Issachar, and Joseph and Benjamin. And these shall stand upon Mount Ebal to curse. And the Levites shall speak and say to all the men of Israel with a loud voice, cursed be the man that maketh any graven image or molten image, an abomination to the Lord, the works of the hands of the craftsman, and put it in a secret place. And all the people shall answer and say, amen. Then they begin to go on and say what the curse this is. He's not a man that he shall lie. Look at this right here too. The covenant between God and the people. This day the Lord your God has commanded you to do these statutes and judgments, that you keep them and do them with all your heart and with all your soul. Like all you don't, like all this stuff is repetition. This is Deuteronomy chapter 26 now that I'm reading. And then we were just reading chapter 28 and it's still reciting this stuff. Just repetition. When somebody keeps repeating something, repetition is key. This is why I always say you pay attention to the repetitive behaviors of people to see people for who they truly are. You don't got to listen to what they say. You pay attention to the patterns of their behaviors. And just like we pay attention to the pattern of God's behaviors, the pattern of his words. Repetition. This is why your parents, the way to get something stuck in somebody's head is repetition. Even for you to understand certain things, you have to keep reading it. Because reading it one time, you're not going to understand it all the way. It may be that second time or fifth time, 10th time that you go back and see something that you didn't see the last time. This is why repetition is key, because repetition is what makes it stick. Just like at your job. When you first get the job and you first learn it, you don't know how to do it like that. But as you keep doing it, you master it. The repetition is what causes you to master it. So this is why he'll keep repeating himself. He'll use other people to keep repeating his word and what he wants for us, his rules and commandments, to get it to stick to us, to see the importance, the prevalence of keeping his commandments. And we just took it all for a joke, like we do. Black community, all we do is joke about everything. And of course, I'm a jokester too. But I know when stuff is serious, it's serious. When it's playtime, it's playtime. You got to know how to, and when it comes to God, look, I joke and laugh with God all day. But when it comes to just like with this stuff, I might crack a couple jokes, but at the end of the day, I'm serious about this. I'm serious. But let me just finish reading this little part right here. And it says, and you have vouched. Okay, so it says, this day the Lord your God has commanded you to do these statutes and judgments, that you shall keep them and do them with all your heart and with all your soul. You have avouched the Lord this day to be your God, and to walk in his ways, and to keep his statutes and his commandments and his judgments, and to hearken to his voice. And the Lord has avouched you this day to be his peculiar people, as he has promised you, and you shall keep all his commandments, and to make you high above all nations, which he made in praise and in name and in honor, and that you may be a holy people to the Lord your God, as he has spoken. I'm going to wrap this up, but y'all need to go read Deuteronomy 27 and 28, because that in itself, look how many times he said this thing. Look, he keeps saying, like, you are his people. And we are the peculiar people. We're the ones that's different from everybody else. And I remember I used to always ask, I'm like, why are we like, we're different than everybody else. Even when it comes to like hair, our hair, all these other people, like the Hispanics, the white people, the freaking Chinese, the every other nation, all of them have like that straight type of hair. You know, we the ones who got curls and kinks and woolly hair, like our people here in the book, like Samson, like Jesus. We're the ones that got woolly hair. Nobody else has that kind of hair. We're the ones who have hair like that. And even with that, like I said in one of them videos that's in that playlist, our hair does things that other people's hair can't. It's like, so we be hating our hair sometimes, but it's like our hair does stuff that other people's hair can never do. Like, this is why they be so admiring. They be very admirable of our hair, like the different styles that we do and all of that, because a lot of their hair is limp. They can't do all the stuff we do. Their hair don't hold no curl. Their hair can't get no braids, can't hold a cornrow. Their hair can't use the cornrow. I was researching, I seen that we used to put rice in our cornrows, in our hair. That's why they don't like cornrows, but we used to probably hide stuff, hide weapons, hide food, all of that in our hair. In our hair. We're so, man, we really are so smart, so strong, so resilient as a people, and we don't even know. And we don't even see that all God wants us to do is to obey him and put him first. It's so simple. He wants to bless us. But we keep getting tricked out of our spot because you worshiping other gods. You see with the other side, guys. You see with these people that's demonic have. You see, because Satan is a materialistic. Everything materialism is of Satan. That's why he entices us to go astray from God, to do things that we know are not of God. Just like I did in another video. I didn't even post it yet, and I'm going to post it before I post this one. But how he even tried to get me thinking about money, because I want the money, and I'm like, I could sell feet pics because my feet cute and it's money in there, and the devil will entice you with stuff that he know you want, because he know I'm looking for some things. I just moved, so I want certain things for my house and all of this. So I'm like, I need to get to the money, but I'm trying to work on my purpose. I'm trying to do it God's way and just wait and take the slow and steady route and just wait until it start picking up and everything. Just start with my business and all of that, with my newfound business. And he don't want me selling all the stuff I used to do and doing all this to make money. He don't want me doing that stuff, but I'm getting enticed. The devil trying to entice me with these things, but you can't bite that bait just because you see other people have these things, because a lot of them are worshiping other gods. They're doing things that are not of God. God know who really them feet picks for, them fetishes, and the people with them fetishes. He know those are people who got real. That's gonna be a whole nother video. These 7 deadly sins. And way back when I first got to Texas, when I was in Houston, I did a video about them 7 deadly sins, because those 7 deadly sins is plague in our community. And those 7 deadly sins are nothing but tricks of the enemy. All of them. Lust, gluttony, greed, sloth, wrath, envy, pride, all of that stuff is what's plaguing our community. Plaguing us. It's keeping us in bondage, lusting after other people. Like, I'll see in the comments sometimes, these dudes out here, bruh. And women are lustful too, but to see what this guy said in the comment one day, he was like, it wasn't to me, he wasn't saying it to me, but it was in some comments. And I rebuke him. I ain't even tapped message, so I pray. I tell God, I rebuke this, and I ask that you cleanse this lustful spirit up out of this man, because you gonna put in the comments how your wife is over here asleep, but you want to do all these things to this girl under this comment you under. Literally just nasty, lustful, just nasty. The sexual desires that people are, like, you literally will risk it all. This is where these perverts come from. The lust that just come over them, the things that go on in your mind, the pictures and all of that. And I know a lot of that is rooted from some other things too, that I often talk about, you know, with us. A lot of us in this community have been touched on. So, and then you watching these flicks, watching porn, all of that stuff is of the enemy, because it's putting pictures in your head. And now because you want to enact that, you want to go back and enact that same thing. Even what I was just saying the other day in that other video I just did, I was talking about the baby boy thing. Like, I like that type of, where they was bouncing around the house. Like, when Melvin had the mama, you know, like that. We have these pictures off of things that we see. And now it's like, ooh, now I want to enact that. Ooh, that probably gonna feel good. So we get these sexual desires and we want to do these things that we know will lead you into some stuff. Just, I mean, I can tell y'all, you know, I'm not even probably gonna go into it in this video, but I really don't mind, you know, because I'm raw about my stuff. Like, you know, with my second B, like, that was the thing, like, the lust that we had for one another because of the sexual things. And the fact that we both be with the shits is like, it becomes toxic. It becomes deadly. Because I'm not so, like, sex don't, like, I can have bomb sex with you, and I don't give a damn about you after, honestly. And I don't know what it is, but I do know I'm a detached person. Like, you know, it might feel good, but I understand that it's a good time. It's just an experience. It don't mean that I'm going to start stalking you and then I'm just going to, you know, but I've had times too where I had some good D and I was a little bit, you know, a little bit crazy, doing things that I normally wouldn't have done. But most times I ain't doing all of that. But you got some guys who you do certain things to them and they can't find it nowhere else. Now they want to come out down. They feel like they own you. They want to possess you because you did this thing, and they don't want you doing those sexual things to other people, and they still lusting after you. And they like, a lot of people die off of lust. You get set up over lust. Your desire to have that girl, you don't even care that you're going up in another man's house, or you don't even care that you're going up in another woman's house. You just lusting. You see this beautiful man. You see what he working with, and you just want him. You want him because of what this girl has. We're coveting other people's things. We're being lustful, and this is leading us to our demise. Like I had said one time before, the rapper Trouble who got killed. You got killed lusting after this girl. She's stripping for you. Y'all meet these girls doing this, and when they put it on you, they doing this stuff to you. Now it's like, ooh, she gave me whiplash. I remember the same guy that tried to kill me, you know, I remember when I first messed with him and hit him with a wham. You know, and when you know, it's not funny, but I remember when he first said it, he said, oh, you trying to make me crazy about you off of the sexual act. And I'm like, no, like, you know, but he said that during the act, and literally that ended up, you did that. He started being crazy. You started coming, just popping up at my house. You chased me around the thing, trying to kill me because I didn't moved on with my baby daddy. Like, you know, it got intense. And the lust, and it causes this stuff. This is why we got to be careful about exchanging our energy with people, especially sexually. And we got to be careful about what we consuming, because we try to enact these things, and then we constantly, then you thinking about it. Now you thinking about this stuff, the good time. You think you had flashbacks. Like, a lot of us do. You have flashbacks about, damn, that shit was good. Like, you can still feel it. That's how deep the flashback will go. You can still feel it in the present time. You know, but all of these sins, our anger, the laziness, that slothful energy, being lazy. You can't even get what you're supposed to get done because you're slothful, lazy. Things that's holding you back. You procrastinating all the time. Gluttony, you greedy. And that can come when it comes to food, because that's what I struggle with still with me. Just like last night. That's why I'm fasting today. I said, I don't even deserve to eat today. I didn't cut up so bad yesterday with the junk. I want to stop lusting over junk. It's like I have like and a lot of us, we stuff like food. Look, it get real, because you can be greedy for food. You can be greedy for money. It's nothing never satisfy your appetite. You just still want more and more and more and more and more and more. And when you want more and more and more, you'll do whatever it is to get more and more and more. And you don't care who you deceive to get more and more and more. And these are all things that God said for us not to do, because you can still idolize anything. Anything can be an idol. If you put it over God, if you feel like if you need that thing more than you need God, it becomes an idol because you're putting it first. He don't want nothing put before him. You need to be able to go do you a 24-hour, a 3-day fast. You need to be able to do that and know that I got you more than that food got you. I will provide you with all the nourishment you need just through me, just through you coming to me. And in reading my word, I will close up your belly. That's what he want us to know. That's what he want us to feel. He don't want us idolizing no food. He don't want us idolizing this girl, this guy, the money. He don't want us doing none of that. He don't want us being greedy, and because of our greed, we're going to go run up in our neighbor house and steal their stuff, and that's our neighbor. We're going to steal from our mama. We're going to steal from our brother, our sister. We're going to want to take their things because of greed, because you see something and you're like, oh, I want it. But instead of you getting out of your slothful energy, instead of you getting out of that slothful energy and putting in the work to get it on your own, you want to take what they worked hard for? So, the envy and the pride and all of that too. Because oftentimes it's prideful things that lead us to doing this. Your ego get in the way. Your ego get in the way, and you just become, it's like your ego is your mask, and you living with this mask, and you can't be true to who you are when you living with the mask, and you more comfortable with the way the mask look than what you really look when you take off that mask after a long day, like these narcissists do. So this video went longer than it's supposed to be, and I need to get the reading because it's 11:17, baby. That's crazy. It's 11:17 here, 1:17. I told y'all those my numbers, 1:17, 11:17. That's how I know God obviously is okay at me to do this video. I wasn't supposed to be doing this video right now, but the Holy Spirit led me to do this video. So we are these people in the book, you guys. And I mean, it's all here. It's all there. It's all there. Connected to. We ain't the most hated for no reason. We ain't struggling for no reason. And it's even biblical that in the last days, we're going to learn. We're going to wake up. All of this stuff is here. And a lot more of us are waking up to who we are. A lot of us are waking up to the BS of the systems. A lot of us are waking up, you know? So I hope y'all got something from this video. I hope that you guys are seeking to be closer to the Lord. And all you got to do is talk, pray, read his word, do some fasting, listen, get rid of the distractions, get rid of things that's no longer serving you, that you need to put God first. Like I was just saying, put God first. Seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and everything will be added to you. Nothing else matters until you seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness. And that's why God took me on my spiritual journey to learn that. Because I didn't know God. I didn't have this relationship with God like this. You know, I didn't know this word. I didn't know all this. I was seeking everything else. I was seeking the money. I was going hard. I wanted that money. I want to be rich. I still do. And I'm going to. But I wanted that. I didn't care about nothing. Like, I'm like, I just want to I want to get rich. That's what I cared about. But I had to seek first the kingdom of God and understand and go within and let God in to heal a lot of this broken little girl that I was suffering from. To heal a lot of things, to awaken me to who I am, to find my identity. That's the importance of getting close to God. So he can reveal to you who you are, why he created you to be here, why you had to go through a lot of the stuff that you had to go through, how to overcome it, how to turn that pain into purpose, how to turn that test into a testimony. This is why it's important to get close to him. So he can renew your mind, body, and your soul. So he can teach you his way, teach you his plan that's way better than any plan that you could have came up with. Because you didn't destine yourself to be here. You did not, you don't have the ability to consecrate yourself. Only he do. So, until the next time, you guys, I'll see y'all in the next video. Deuces. Mwah.